Hello, welcome back. My name is Ari, and this is a very, very late May wrap-up. So, before I get into the stats and stuff, a little housekeeping. First off, I didn't put up any videos last week. I want to apologize for that. I was working 13-hour days, like 6 days last week, and I was getting home from the office and just instantly falling asleep. I had no energy to record videos. I had no energy to edit videos, so just nothing went up last week. But I'm fine, just overworked. Secondly, I'm bulk recording today. I really hope you like this outfit because you're gonna see a lot of it because I am hot and way too lazy to change my clothes between all of these filmings. So here I am, deal with it. The third thing, I am changing the format of these videos. I put in by far the most work into my wrap-up videos, and they are one of the videos that just gets like the least amount of views. So why am I taking all of this time to do all of this work when no one's gonna watch it? And for those of you who are watching it, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you viewing all these videos. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate those of you who do view it. I'm just saying, like, overall, these are some of the lowest viewed videos. So we're gonna fast mode this. I think they're the lowest viewed because they're so long because I have so many things to talk about. Like, I've already been talking for 2 minutes. So this is how it's going to change. I am going to cut out the mid-month wrap-up videos. I am just going to do an end-of-month wrap-up, and I'm not really going to talk about the books. I'm just going to tell you what I read, tell you if I liked it, if I disliked it, or I didn't care about it, and then in the comments, if you want more information on the book, I am going to link to my Goodreads review. So not like just the regular Goodreads page for the book that I normally link. I'm going to link directly to my review. So you can go read that review if the cover or whatever sounds interesting, or I just like it and are interested in it. I'm also going to keep the stats. So let's get into that and start with stats first. Excuse me for a second while I interrupt, but I was editing this and realized all of my stats are wrong. So let's re-record this section. In May, I read 20 books, 7,175 pages, which averages out to about 231 pages per day or 359 pages per book. For authors, I read 8 male authors, 10 female authors, and 2 non-binary authors. For genre, I read 14 fantasy books, surprising no one, 2 horror novels, 1 sci-fi, 1 classic, 1 nonfiction, and 1 general fiction. For the demographic of the books I read 17 books targeted for adults and 3 books targeted for a young adult audience. As far as format goes, 15 of the books I read were physical books, 3 of them were ebooks, and 2 audiobooks, which is pretty good for me. The source where I sourced my books from, 13 of the books I read were my own personal backlist of books. 3 of them were new books that I had purchased this year. 3 of them came from a book box, and 1 came from the library. As far as star rating, my average star rating for this month was a 3.35, which means I read 3 5-star books, 4 4-star books, 11 3-star books, 1 2-star book, and 1 1-star book, and I DNF'd 3 books. First up, My Best Friend's Exorcism. I love this book. It's a 5-star book. Fucking read it. Next up, Silver in the Woods. I love this book too. It's a short story. Read it. Next up, The Resistors. I hated this. Can't recommend it. Next up, Mexican Gothic. This was mediocre. I didn't think I was gonna like it going into it. Don't take my word for this review. Next up, The Midnight Bargain. Can't say I really like this. If you're really hardcore into feminism, you might like it. Next up, Catherine House. I know I own this book, I just don't know what I did with it. This book was great, but I don't think a lot of people would like it. check out my review for more. Next up, Illusionarium. I don't remember what this book is about. This was so mediocre that I just forgot about it already. Next up, Texting the Underworld. This was as stupid as this sounds. Next up is Tess of the D'Ubervilles. I had this as a 5-star prediction and gave it 1 star. Fuck this book. Next up, I read 4 out of 5 books out of the Cleric Quintet by R.A. Salvatore. This is a reread. It's got its own video that's going to come out later this month. I did finish the 5th book in this, just not until early June, but I love this series. Just the nostalgia hits me a lot harder than I think people would actually enjoy this. Next up, Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I am now Maas trash. 5 stars. Next up is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Next up is another book that I own, but I still don't know what I did with it. I think it's in my box of things to haul, and that is Ariadne. Meh. Next up, I read Barack Obama's A Promised Land. And if you really like politics, this is 700 something pages of politics. Let me recommend you the audiobook. Next up is Fate of the Fallen by Kel Cade. This was actually pretty good. A very interesting take on the Chosen One trope. Next up is American Magic. Again, this I think is in my haul box. Not my thing. Next up was Pull of the Stars. This is like historical fiction. It was short but kind of interesting. It was like a mix of something that is not really something I would normally read at all and not anything I'm interested in, but I still kind of liked it. The last 3 books here are my DNFs. We've got Gork the Teenage Dragon. This was awful. Please just stay the fuck away from it. Next up is The Glass Town Game. This was sexist. And I didn't care. You can see how far I got. Let's remove the bookmark. What is on here? Who knows? Bye. And then the last one I DNF'd is The Last Story of Mina Lee. That's how far I got. This character is fucking horrible to her mother and I hated her, so I didn't want to read about her anymore. Done. And that is everything I read in May. Again, like I said, any more information you want about these books, I have Goodreads reviews for all of them except for the DNFs. And they will all be linked down in the comments below.